guys, welcome this afternoon. We are going to be talking about graphing linear equations. We've gone over a couple different forms of equations, okay? So when we are talking about graphing linear equations, we're going to follow a few easy steps, okay? We are going to the first thing we want to do is convert our equation to slope-intercept form, okay? If it's not already in slope-intercept form, your first step is to convert it to slope-intercept form. Step 2 is going to be to identify the slope and the y-intercept, which we can easily do once we have it in slope-intercept form. Then you are going to plot the y-intercept. Whatever this b value is, on your y-axis, you're going to go plot that value. So if your y-intercept is 2, you're going to plot that point on the y-axis at 2. Then you're going to use your slope. When you know what your slope is, you're going to use it. It's the rise over the run to find additional points. So wherever you're at, on the y-axis, you're going to start there, and whatever your slope is, you're going to go up and then over, or down and over. Okay? Now if your slope is not a fraction, okay, let's say they tell you slope is 3. Well, you know that 3 as a fraction is 3 over 1. Okay? Okay, so looking at what they gave us, okay? Our graph, or our equation, is already in slope-intercept form. It was given to us in that form, right? So y equals 1/2 x plus 3 was already done, okay? Now, from there, step 2. You're supposed to identify the slope and the y-intercept, right? See, step 2 is identify the slope and the y-intercept. So, our equation was already in the form, so our slope is the coefficient of x, the number being multiplied by x. Remember, it does not include x. So in this case, our slope is going to be 1/2, and our y-intercept is the constant. Okay, so it's positive 3. All right, so the next step was to plot your y-intercept. So we know that b is equal to 3. So I'm going to come over here on my y-axis. Remember, my y-axis is my vertical axis. And I'm going to go to 3. That's where my graph is going to cross the y-axis. Then I'm going to use my slope to plot my next points. Okay? I'm going to use rise over run. Okay? So, because it's positive 1, I'm going to go up 1. And then I'm going to go over 4. And then if I wanted to go in the opposite direction, I would go down 1 to the left 4. Okay? And then I would just connect my dots, and that's how you graph it. Okay? And I actually graphed it wrong because I said the slope was 1/4 and it was actually 1/2. So let's redo that real quick. Okay, so my y-intercept was at 3, and so my slope is 1/2. That means I have to go up 1 over 2. Okay, and I can go up 1 over 2 one more time. And if I want to go in the opposite direction, that means I'm going to have to go down 1, but I'm going to have to go back 2 as well. and then connect the dots, and there's our line. See, our slope is up 1 over 2. That's the rate of change. That's how fast this line moves. It goes up 1 and over 2. Okay? Okay, so looking at this one, okay, just before we start graphing it, what type of a slope are we going to have? Let's identify what my slope is. Slope is the coefficient of x, and it includes the sign that's in front of it. So that is my slope. It's -1/3. What do negative slopes look like? Like they're falling, right? So we know my graph is going to look like that. My y-intercept is the constant that's here with us, so that is 4. Okay? So my slope is -1/3 and my y-intercept is 4. So I'm going to plot my point on 4, and then I'm going to go down 1 to the right 3. Okay? Or I could go up 1, but I would have to go back 3 to make it negative, right? See, this negative means that this is going to go down or this is going to go to the left. We're either moving in the left direction or in the down direction, not both, because if we went down and to the left, that would end up making it a positive slope, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So, there's our negative slope. I didn't draw the best line, but it's close enough. All right, so looking at this one, what is our first step going to be? We know I have to get in slope-intercept form first, right? So y is going to have to equal mx plus b. So the first thing I need to do, we know I have to isolate the term that contains y. So this 6x, it's being added to 3y. It's positive out here, right? So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. Once I do that, I have 3y equals -6x plus 6. Okay? From there, I'm going to divide by 3 because I want to isolate my y term. When I divide, I have to divide every term on that right side of the equation by 3. So y is going to equal -6 divided by 3 is going to give me -2x, and then 6 divided by 3 is going to give me plus 2. From there, we identify my y-intercept as 2. So I'm going to put my point here on +2 on my y-axis. And then my slope is -2. Okay? When my slope is -2, that means it's -2 over 1. Okay? So I can go down 2 to the right 1, or I can go up 2 and to the left 1. And that's what my equation graph will look like. All right, that's it for today, guys. Have a great day.